Sorry, I went on a little tangent. Uh, Two, actually, and they weren't meant to be, but kind of just flew out of my mouth. I have a real hard time dealing with betrayal. After I've been good to somebody, that's probably, you know, my biggest frustration. But the more I did pondering on it, I deleted the other videos because even though everything that I said was true, and no, even though I know what was going on, I still technically didn't have the right to say, well, actually, I had every right of my opinion to say what I wanted, but it wasn't the right thing to do. So I apologize about getting lied, gaslighted, being treated like crap. Yeah. All of that. Last night, right away, I'm laying in bed, I'm listening to meditation music, and I heard in my gut, why are you shocked about being betrayed by people when Jesus was betrayed by one of the 12, by one of his most trusted advisors, and one of the people in his inner circle betrayed him with a kiss? So that's ego that, yeah, you get betrayed and you flip out because of how much you cared about this person. Jesus loved perfectly. He loved perfectly, unconditionally. I get it, it's about unconditional love, whether you get it in return or not. And that is a hard pill to swallow. That is a hard pill to swallow. There is no buts when you're talking to spirit. But he did this, but he did that. Spirit don't care. I mean, he cares. Hold on. I'm going to take a look at Judas. I'm sorry, I got a pill stuck in my throat. Let's take a look at Judas for a minute. And it's funny how Spirit always refers to Bible stories for me. It is, because when it comes to our own parallel lives, Judas saw everything Jesus did. Judas saw all Jesus' good works. Judas was there when he sent out the 72 to go cast out demons, heal the sick. Yeah, Judas was a part of that. Judas was the treasurer of the money. Here's the issue. And here's the download. Even though Jesus knew of his upcoming betrayal, he didn't call him out. He would say, however, there's one of you amongst us who's going to betray me. There's one of you amongst us who is polluted by the devil. And that was a part of his main 12. Last Supper. Judas was a part of that. And as soon as he partook, Jesus looked at Judas and said, isn't there something that you need to go do? He knew he was going to get betrayed. Jesus' intuition was lighting up. He knew it was the time. One more, oh, and I got chills. One more story about Judas is when they see, we're going to talk about Mary and how the alabaster box with the perfume in it. They pretend real well that they care about people, the poor and the needy. They pretend that that means something to them. They're penny pinchers, and they're greedy, and they're selfish. He saw Mary break open an expensive bottle of perfume and anoint Jesus's feet. And Judas ripped her apart and said that could have been sold and given to the poor. It was a very expensive bottle of perfume. I get chills. Judas did not know that she was actually preparing Jesus for his death coming up like 5 days later. And right away, Judas is pointing the finger saying, that could have been given to the poor and the needy. And she just wasted that, not knowing that there was a spiritual connotation behind her act of anointing his feet with perfume, getting ready for the upcoming death, burial, and resurrection. Jesus knew this. Don't ever not trust your intuition. Expect, as a light worker, to be used and betrayed. That's why I said it's so hard to date, because someone could act like they're in your inner circle, that they have your back, that they would never harm you, that they would never lie to your face, that they would never steal from you. Judas, for money, gave up the most precious relationship he had for 30 pieces of silver. Remember that. 30 pieces of silver. He gave up the one person who came to this earth to love unconditionally and show what that looked like. And how did Jesus respond to him? He did call him out. Isn't there something? He called him the son of perdition. There's two people in the Bible who are referred to as the son of perdition: Satan himself and Judas. Look it up. Look it up. If you don't believe me, Google it. So, this is something that was a download for me and can help a lot of you. If, like I said, light and dark are coming to a convergence point where you're going to see, and like I said, I apologize for my rants. When I'm hurt, it hurts me to my core. Then again, it's ego. So either way, I'm just not going to allow, it's like this is why you feel so isolated as a light worker or an empath. This is exactly why, because we've been so bombarded and so betrayed by people like this, who were supposed to be in our inner circle, and then they betray you. It's not, and it's like, where's the justice behind all this? Well, let me tell you one thing. When he betrayed Jesus, and then he felt guilty, and he tried to give that 30 pieces of silver back to the enemy, basically the Pharisees and yeah, the rulers of that day, tried to give the money back because he felt guilt and he felt shame about what he did, but he couldn't take it back. He still gave him up, and he betrayed Jesus with a kiss. Remember that. All those people who you think love you so much that kiss you, they could just be a stumbling block to try to deceive you. It's why we have that inner voice And that's why I usually will refer to it as my high priestess lighting up. When you're being betrayed, that lights up. When stuff's not feeling right, your gut feeling knows. It knows. They think they can get away with it. And the thing is I did mention it yesterday in the videos that I did delete. Um, Betrayal is in the heart of a person. It's in the heart of a person. They can turn away from that betrayal. But if the person keeps doing the same thing over and over again and does not change their behavior, that is not true repentance, nor is that true a true apology. They don't care. They don't. When it's deep down in their core of who they are. When someone shows you who they are, and how many times have you saw the meme, when someone shows you who they are, trust it. Well, that's what I'm doing. Yep, this hurts. Yep. Do I care at this point? No. Because you want to know why? Spirit gave me a prime example of how Jesus dealt with Judas Iscariot. And if you want to look it up, you're more than welcome. He gave up his best man, someone he said he'd never betray. He promised Jesus he wasn't going to betray him, and Jesus is like, mm-hmm. And then he gave him that kiss on the cheek, and they came and took him to be crucified for 30 pieces of silver. They're greedy, and they betray. That, I think, has been one of the hardest things as a light worker or an empath to understand when you're trying to give out energy and love and healing to people, and then they turn around and betray you. I apologize. Yeah, because YouTube hates me, and this is an important message. This is an extremely important message. Has to do with betrayal and how we're supposed to handle it. What happens after the betrayal, Jesus didn't worry about. Jesus didn't worry about it at all. You want to know what happened to Judas? If anybody knows anything about Judas Iscariot, they know he hung himself. He hung his own self. You want to know why? Because once dark forces are done using somebody to betray, they turn on them. And they're left with their own guilt, shame, and karma. And then they feel it to the point where Judas felt that guilty. He went and hung himself and killed himself because he realized what he just lined up with the devil. And us as light workers have, I guess it's more or less, we have to have, I don't want to say pity, but grace. Walk away with grace. Yeah, I usually do this because it hurts. Your best friend can betray you. Your lover can betray you. How many people have been cheated on? You know, it's like, it's the call. Well, And it's in the heart of the person. It's already there. However, right now we're at times where light workers are going to be walking in power. So expect to be betrayed. Expect it. Don't speak it out, or don't just when it comes, deal with it like Jesus did and let them to their own misery. Because karma doesn't miss an address. And we have to just let them go and not worry about it. We've all been, nothing hurts more than being betrayed by somebody you care about. Lies, deceit, blatant telling someone you care when you really don't. And unless you've specifically dealt with this, which I think we've all had some forms of betrayal, but over and over and over and over and over and over, and in your current relationship too, and over again, constantly being lied to, gaslit, and betrayed. Unless you're in that particular situation, lied to, betrayed. It knocks you on your ass. Finally today I got some bills caught up. Well, not caught up. I got on payment plans because I can't pay my fucking bills due to the fact of being depressed and due to the fact of dealing with dark nights of the soul because of this type of stuff. Deal to not being able to sleep from complex post-traumatic stress disorder. From dealing with people like this. And it's like, where's the justice, Lord? Where is that justice? Well, I'm going to tell you where the justice is. The justice is when you walk away. When you walk away, and they see they no longer are a part of your inner circle, and go no contact. And then you start to, light up, glow up, and then they have guilt, shame, remorse. They're just, one of the things that I got was these Judases are just a stepping stone. They're a stepping stone into your greatness of who you are. You can almost equate it. Like I actually was watching videos most of the night. I didn't sleep much. I don't sleep very well, especially when I'm dealing with breakups and stuff, because I ruminate. These people invade your dreams. Thank God I played meditation music all night. He stayed out of my dreamscape. I don't know if I completely rid him. I don't know. It's just, it's only been a week. So people, if you think it's easy to just let go of somebody who you've given your all to and had promised to love, and they promise you the same in return, and then they turn around and betray you, that is probably one of the hardest things not to get angry about and really want to lash out, because it's a natural response to bullshit. But I've been stuck. There's actually the spirit of Judas, and is very well rooted in the spirit of Jezebel and narcissism. Just so you know, what I'm saying is true. They will betray you. Not everybody's like that. But when they betray somebody with an anointing, or somebody's trying to help people and has helped them, and then they turn around and betray, that very person that has pulled them out of the mud. We got to leave that up to God to deal with and move on. It's not easy to just forget. You don't forget. I mean, my God, he sat up there counting his silver in the middle of the freaking Last Supper. Isn't there something you need to go do, Judas? He knew. He knew he was being betrayed, and so do we usually. We just choose to ignore it. Facts. We choose to ignore it. We choose to not look at the red flags. People with addictions, and I don't give a shit. We want to just talk about regular addiction. No, we're going to talk about all kinds of addiction. Porn addiction. Sex addiction. That's all rooted in demonic shit. Gambling addiction. Substance abuse. It's all numbing because there's inner trauma and inner pain that these people deal with. That guess what? They have the answer right in front of them, but they choose to stay in the mud. Or they choose to get pulled out of the mud for a brief time to feel better, and then they think that they can go back to it. And they end up in a worse state, 7 times worse than what they were before. So just because you haven't thought you've been betrayed, if you're dealing with someone with sex addiction or gambling addiction or porn addiction, that's still an addiction, whether it's a substance or not. Try and take someone's freaking phone, laptop, whatever, that they can't watch porn and see how well that fares out. Or you say, don't watch porn, like that hurts me. See how well that fares out. Tell them they can't go to the casino once or play poker online. See how well that fares out for you. Just saying. Not to mention, a spiritually high is what you think you can get. You'll realize real quick with everything, dark forces are a stepping stone. But when you get pride and you get proud of what you do and you think that your shit don't stink, you will be knocked down very low. Pride goeth before a fall. So be happy for the download you get. Be happy for revelation that you get. Because we're living in perilous times. We're living in the times of Judas, where you will be betrayed by people who you think would never do it. Or promise to never do it. Just because you got a ring on your finger don't mean shit to most people at this point. Just because you have a marriage certificate, they don't care. That's only a piece of paper in most people's eyes. Instead of a covenant between you, that person. There's a binding covenant. They'll still go cheat. Whatever a person's past is, it usually resurfaces. Tell me I'm wrong on this. I'm not saying people can't change, but that, until the core root of that is healed, till the core root of that is healed, don't expect someone who betrayed you that they're not going to do it again. How you handle it is exactly how Jesus did. Let them know. You know. But let them go. Let them go betray you. Because their karma is ultimately theirs, not yours. Let them go do it. because the guilt is what kills them then. Their guilt and shame is what kills them. Unless they're completely taken over by demons and they don't care at this point. But usually the accuser of the brethren, Satan, will usually at that point allow them, the accuser of the brethren will turn their back on that person they used. Like that. That's when they get their karma. That's when all the guilt and shame and the whole revelation of what they just did to you comes pounding down to the point where they're about a decimated mess. It happens. It happened to probably every single one of us. How you deal with it? Absolutely, we want justice. Well, justice isn't mine to repay, saith the Lord. I can go off on rants. I can talk so much about narcissism. I can talk about... I have studied this stuff. And then I get this idea in this download last night while I meditated about Judas. How did Jesus handle Judas? He was one of his most trusted... He was a treasurer. He was the most trusted advisor. He was a money-hungry, materialistic person. Sold Jesus out for 30 pieces of silver. Son of God. He sold him out. Don't think people aren't going to sell you out too. Whether it's a partner, whether it's a friend. Let Spirit weed out the nasty Judases in your life. Let them be exposed. And then deal with them, like Faith had said, with love and light. Release them. I have understood something. There's a different thing. People talk about cutting cords. Actually, those cords need to be removed because they'll grow back. There is no such thing as cutting cords anymore at this point. There is no such thing. You have to get to the root. And there is a meditation that you could usually tell by scanning over your own body where all your chakras are. And you can tell. It will feel like there's a stoppage or like spongy feeling that you sense. And that's where you need to stop and start working on that cord and legit removing it to the root. Not just cut it, because it'll grow back. It's just like a weed. You could cut off the top of weeds, but those roots are deeply embedded in you. They need removed at this point. All cords removed and healed with salve of the angels. So that's where I'm at. Working on myself. Dealing with being betrayed. Like I said, I've had so many people try and date me and they get offended when I don't respond back. I'm sorry. When you've dealt with being hurt and you've dealt with shitty people, it's really hard to just go on superficial dates with people. Oh, I don't drink. I don't want to go to the bar, even though tomorrow's my birthday. And I don't want to date people who aren't on my level. Facts. Bottom line, that's where I'm at. So, like I said, we're the real men. We're the men who get this. Thank you. I'll be 44. We're the real men who get this. There's not many of us. I'm not saying we're perfect either. I'm sure some people think that we've betrayed them. And it's not about that. We need to check ourselves too. And that's why I'm doing this video, because of my last two videos, I was pretty raw and pretty rude and threw it right out there. And yeah, I felt bad about it then. But I don't feel bad for telling the truth and telling y'all what I went through. I took them down because it did not express love. That's why I took them down. It just expressed frustration. So, um, yeah, it was real and it was raw. But like I said, there's people who have betrayed you. Look at it as a blessing that you were well aware. And if you're high, dude, that's probably the biggest blessing I'm going to take out of this whole thing is the fact that I have an intuition and I have that the ability to hear spirit, and I have the ability to um, listen and learn and have a tender heart. I had a vision, and I told a couple people about it. I had a vision the other week, and I think I told Heidi about it. I'm not sure, but I don't know if it's Heidi or if it was Summer on here. And or it could have been Jess. It was one of the three. I had a vision of what God was doing. This is before the whole breakup. We've been marinated right now. This is what's going on. For the last few years, we've all been in like a pot. Our little hearts have all been in a pot, and we've been marinated. Put marinate, stuff that marinates meat. We've been smeared with the anointing. We've been marinated with our higher self. We've been marinated, with downloads. And you want to know what I saw next? We were all in the same, it was like a stock pot. All our little hearts were in this stock pot. And we were just marinating in the things that Spirit is doing collectively. And then what I saw was a hand reach in and take out one heart, and then take out another heart, and then take out another heart individually. And I don't know if you ever saw like what it looks like when someone takes a meat tenderizer, and I saw this hand just boom, 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 start tenderizing your heart. All these hearts were getting tenderized after we were just been marinated. Our hearts were getting beat up and tenderized for this time. So in the last 2 years, if you've been feeling like, especially the last 2 years, if you've been feeling like your heart's just been freaking beat up, that's why. That was Spirit. That was the vision I got that I felt like I needed to give to the collective. I probably could have made another video on this, just this. I've had other visions and stuff like that too. So expect that's my Aries came out. And I'm not going to apologize for my Aries coming out and calling bullshit for what bullshit was. Hey, how are you doing, bud? Sorry about my rants the last 2 days, man. I got freaking destroyed emotionally. You know, when your high priestess lights up and you know something just isn't right, it pisses you off. And the whole thing was I feel guilt when I go off, unless it has to do with religious people. I feel guilt when there's somebody that I truly loved and somebody that I truly care about, and then they turn around and they pull a Judas on you. And you know. that you're being betrayed and lied to. That vision, and Spirit showed me this before I even really had the confirmation of what was going on. And he refuses to tell the truth. He refuses. He thinks he refuses to tell the truth. But when I saw that vision, we've been marinated the past 2 years in spirit and spiritual things. And that's what these dark nights of the soul were about. And now, like I said, each one of our hearts has been pulled out of the stock pot after being marinated in spirit for years. And he's beating and tenderizing with the tenderizer our hearts. I get visions like that. And it's just like, this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt. I want to shout out the glitches on here. My boy. If you have not checked out his channel and you're on mine, please do. Him and I have a lot of the same synchronicities. However, he doesn't go off like I do because I still have some ego. I still have ego to apparently to destroy. But I can at least admit when I'm wrong. And it's killing it. That's exactly what Spirit, I think that's what the meat tenderizer is like. The impurities. I'm honored that you're on my channel too, because you're amazing. The impurities that have been lodged deep within our soul and deep within our heart. Spirit is now, if you're feeling this, is and has been for like the past, I would say, really the past 6 months. Dark nights of the soul and dark people that we have to contact and come in contact with. You know, it's a falling away. We have to let them people go. That's what Jesus did with Judas. That's exactly what Jesus did. He would say in a lot when he would talk to his disciples, there's one of you amongst us that is the son of perdition. Like I said, he referred to 2 people as the son of perdition. One was Satan and the other one was Judas. We will have people in our inner circle who are going to disappoint us. And how we handle it will determine if you get stuck or you can move on. I think that's where a lot of people are stuck. Is it stuck on betrayal? I've been put in so many Okay. Last night I barely got any sleep. And it's this whole betrayal is like the kiss of betrayal is like probably the hardest thing to really after you've been so open and freely giving and showing love to that person and people around you, and then they're the very ones that turn their back on you for money and materialism. Whether it's a partner, whether it's a friend, whether it's a family member, they don't care. Like they're stuck in and I still do love him. It's just I had to go no contact. That is the only way I can detach and actually get clarity. Jesus let Judas to his own demons to torment him after the betrayal. And if you want to check it out, like this is just something like a new revelation for me, because I think that's where a lot of empaths and light workers are stuck. is they get into a relationship, they're in this relationship, and then they get betrayed by the relationship, and then they're afraid, they have fear. They go into a place of fear of all other relationships. And then they end up creating that same thing in that same scenario. And it's a karmic loop. So with find even I'm gonna say this, even within our own community, I agree. I agree. We have to come out of that. Whether it's by a parent, we need to forgive. That's for you. We need to forgive those who've hurt us. But first, we need to forgive ourselves. Jesus made it very clear. Forgive yourself and then forgive others. There's a two-step process. You have to forgive yourself first, and then you forgive others. My biggest thing was I had a hard time with believing that somebody else who could be um at the beginning, it's the beginning stages, that could be this one person, and then completely the mask slips and they're a whole other. And it show the real colors show after they get what they want. 30 pieces of silver for their soul. They sell their soul for materialistic things. And it has been, Jesus called it out. There's so much. That's why, like, I've looked. My scripture, I'm going to give this all to you. My scripture that God gave me in 2006 when I was baptized in fire, and I was on the floor for a good 16, 18 hours in a church. The scripture he gave me was Psalm 91. That was my promise. I also have a tattoo on my leg that I got. Some people might not like tattoos if they're religious, whatever. I don't care. I have tattoos. But one of my first tattoos that I got, that's on my left thigh. Because I always looked at myself as like Jacob. And wrestling with the angel. That's how I always looked. Like I had to wrestle for everything that I got. God gave me the scripture and the whole scripture of Psalm 91. And I'm giving it all to you. He gives his angels charge over us so that you are protected. Yes, these people are brought into our lives as a stepping stone and growth. I guess for me, and maybe the glitch, if he's still in here, can help me with this, because I know he's been talking about unconditional love and it all comes down to that. I tried to unconditionally love people and I got pushed away from even being able to do that. So you have to learn, I guess, learn to love from a distance. But, and there should be no but behind this. However, showing unconditional love is not hating that person, obviously. Is it indifference? Is it still being in contact with these people and telling them you still care? Like, still letting them abuse you every day? And it's messing with your finances? I gotta show you something. I'm in the middle of a foreclosure. I haven't been able to pay my taxes in 2 years. Put it right out there. I'm so behind in all my bills because my mind has been in a fog. And today, finally, I just made payment arrangements. And tomorrow I'm going to get on the phone with, try and get stuff done with this mortgage that I shouldn't even be paying. It's not my house. It's my ex-husband's house. So it's like one of those things where it's like, I don't want him to lose his house. And there was agreements and so much stuff that is very complex that I didn't want to deal with. because of hurt and dark nights of the soul and not being able to eat, function, think, or work. And now I'm in a bind. But I've been working on myself. And I will say it 1,000 times. I'm not perfect. Not even close. However, Jesus is. I do. I do. I do. And that's why I walked away from this relationship because there was no respect at the end. There was no respect for my my mind, my body, my presence. There was no respect. That's a part of self-love, walking away from people who you care about. I've been taking a lot better care of myself. When it comes to numbers and dealing with bills and dealing with, I own rentals, and it's just like I've had so many people betray me in that department. I have people who owe me probably close to $50,000 from people not paying me rent. And you want to know what? I haven't taken a single one of them to court. Not one. And now, guess who is paying for it? Trying to get myself back on track. I figure God will provide. I know. I've been knowing for a while that I have to sell these properties. But when I see all the damage that has been done, I don't even know where to start. Because I know what they're worth and I know how they looked when I bought them. And people just don't care. They just destroy things. And they take advantage. Thank you. I mean, all last summer it was a dark night of the soul for me, and oh my God, if I could tell you guys so many stories of I worked in local government, and I loved working with people. I worked in mental health, and I could see people I could see people who were also going through similar things, but people thought it was mental disorder. And I understood. I'm like, "Oh my God, like you're going." I didn't try to tell them, like, I just got on their page and I was like, "Look, I understand where you're at. I see where I understand, like there's help. Let's get you into therapy. Let's get you, because I couldn't do the therapy. I'm not technically a therapist, even though I have enough life experience to be a mentor or a therapist, and good common sense for the most part when I'm not dealing with mind fog. But I was a case manager for my local government, and I had some very cruel bosses in there that uh, was Judas. It was like a Judas. I love you. Thank you so much. I hope everything's going well up in New York and you have a wonderful spring. Summer lives in Jersey. I would love to do a conference with you all. I would. Just to talk of what we've all experienced, and that our dark nights of the soul we're probably all very familiar as a light worker. So if we could ever do that, that'd be great. But I would love it. Respect, dude. I love you. I know it's our birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, Raz. I'm not even sure what I want to do yet. Someone had said about going up to the waterfalls, a friend of mine, but um I don't even know where Newfoundland is. I'm smiling. I'm smiling because I got some of my bills paid that I've been putting off for months. Well, I don't have a passport. I used to. I couldn't afford to get another one. So, can't go to Canada. I'll get a passport when I finally get my shit in order. Um, yeah, I talked to Summer last night a lot. And of course, Summer, I don't even remember what we were talking about, but there was something that led to something else that led to a major epiphany, and I lost it. How come every time I talk to you, I get major epiphanies and then I lose them? And then it comes back later, but I was talking to her last night on the phone, and it was like there was an epiphany that I got about this whole damn situation. I know. Anytime you and I's energy connects, it's like, Summer, can I come visit you? For real? I don't have a whole lot of money because I just paid a bunch of bills, but because I need to get out of here for a while. I, Roz, I was just saying I don't have a passport, sweetheart, or I would love to. I wasn't like a passport here. It used to be $105. I have one, but it ran out a few years ago and I didn't have the money to get it renewed. So I'm going to have to get another passport. I'd love to travel. I'd love to get out of the United States, but I'm kind of stuck here. Raz, um, you can come here. Come to, I have a freaking, I wish somebody would come and freaking rent my room out that I have. I have two apartments that I have that I need rented. And then like there's so much work that I have to do, and it's like the glitch said, release it, let it go, release it, give it to the angels, you'll bring you the help you need. Well, the dogs can come. I don't have a pasture for a horse. I love horses though, man. They're majestic. I actually have a little my favorite horse of all time has to do with a psychic ability. Like when my real intuition started really lighting up. My favorite horse is a Triple Crown winner, and most people would say Secretariat, and I love Secretariat, do not get me wrong. Secretariat was a gorgeous horse who went through massive people talk shit, and she came back and won the Triple Crown. I love that whole comeback story. But my favorite horse has to do with the Triple Crown winner of 2018. You want to know what that horse's name was? Justify. You tell me that isn't prophetic. Guess what the other one was in 2012? We had another Triple Crown winner in 2012. I'll do that. The other Triple Crown winner in 2012 was called American Pharaoh. I love you too, Summer. Interesting. American Pharaoh. Since Secretariat, then it was American Pharaoh. Now it's Justify. Guess what? I had an ex who liked to gamble. And I'm going to tell this story because it's a funny story and it's not shit talking him or nothing. It's just a funny story. And I have absolutely no hate at all for him at this point. You know, people do what they do for their own reasons. And we have to let them do it. We can't control it. This horse called Justify. I didn't even know his name. I go out to dude's house and he bets on everything. Football, base, whatever. He bets on everything. Well, he bet on this horse race. He saw this horse race. I didn't even know about this horse race going on. I think it was a Kentucky Derby, actually. Won the Preakness. Won the Belmont Stakes. Kentucky Derby. Yeah. That was the third one. Either way. Hi, honey. How are you? Yeah, this is a long video, and I apologize. You might want to back it up and watch it all over. Because there's a lot of truth and stuff in it. And an apology to my subs as well for going off the last 2 days just from the frustration and being betrayed. And then, of course, I get that tap on the shoulder from Spirit and say, look, this is the meat tenderizer in your heart. You needed to go through this again to learn your lesson. Spirit's in the middle of tenderizing people. And those who aren't okay with going through the pain of getting your heart beaten in smithereens and pieces. He's just going to put you back in, marinate you, and beat you more. Till all the if you are a chosen one, till all the impurities are beaten out of you, and you're nothing but pure Christ consciousness. He's going to have to keep doing it and keep bringing the cycles in. Yeah. I'm happy. Like I said, I got some of my bills. I got put on payment plans. We're good there. I have other things I have to work on one day at a time. A little bit later, I'm going to go work on my apartment building and get some stuff moved. But, cleaned. Yeah, the whole nine. Because those 2 apartments have been killing me financially, that I haven't been able to rent them out. I need to get them rented out. My goal was to have them rented out and ready by today. Well, dealing with the ups and downs emotionally and the highs and the lows and the not being, just on my back and going through the dark nights of the soul, and God revealing things to me, and in the midst of being mind fucked, excuse my French, in the middle of being mind screwed with and lied to and gaslit, like that's hard. It puts a fog over your whole system. But emotional regulation has to come in, and I think that that's what Spirit's doing, especially with the Uranus transit into Taurus. I felt that it's time to get my shit in order, because I need to sell these places. I know I'm destined to move at one point. This is my sacred spot. Like, if I could honestly just get rid of the rest of the house and just have my room, I would be so good. My house is nice. I'll take you on a little tour through my house. Except for the office. The office needs help. But my house is pretty damn nice. And I'm in the middle of going through, let me rotate the device. Sorry. I'm in the middle of going through, yep, that's my dressing room. I have all my makeup, everything in there. This is one of the other bedrooms. Nice size bedroom. This is the one I want to rent out, actually. I had some plumbing issues. Excuse the whole. I actually have the stuff to put back up, which was fixed, but this is my bathroom. La, da, 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 da. Which is pretty nice. For the most part. It's not like a huge luxurious house. It's built in 1930, but it was all remodeled. Oh, yes. And look, there's a stack of bills I went through. There's my stack of bills. Yeah, and I've been washing curtains and trying to get my house cleaned and sell stuff. I have so much stuff that I don't need. Like, it's funny when you go through this stuff how you're just kind of like, this is all just stuff I don't need. It doesn't serve a purpose, and yeah, like, sorry about that window glare, but yeah, this is my living room. And then here's my dining room, and I have stuff that I'm going to start doing. I have stuff to plant flowers, which actually is lavender and sage I'm going to be planting. My kitchen's a little bit of a mess because I had, this is my kitchen. It's a little bit of a mess because I had a leak. Yeah, I love peacocks is the one thing I'm going to get put on my back. And I will show you my travesty office. My office was cool. Believe me, my office is the shit. There's just a lot of stuff in here that has to do with taxes and stuff. And then I had pictures fall down. And I've had things, right here's all my degrees. See, that's my cosmetology license, my diploma, my degree from Lock Haven for my associates in the arts, which actually is criminal justice. And then here's my bachelor's degree of science. But I love owls. But my office is pretty cool. It's just a mess right now. There's a lot of stuff, like stuff that I've been wanting to sell. I've kind of just threw in this room. But yeah, here's my office. These pictures, which really I got to put on this board because I want to put them back up just because they're cool as shit. Look at these. I have them sitting here. Check this out. These are original. I had them all like on a thing in a frame and they fell out. There's Pink Floyd, the World Tour, and the Beatles. Like, that type of stuff to me is too cool. I found them in New Orleans in an old shop. And then, of course, this is all of the books that I've studied and read. And, yeah, this is paperwork. This is all the stacks of shit that I have to go to. And, yeah, these are all the books that I've read about government and, yeah, sociology. These are all of the notes that I've ever taken that go right along with the books. Yeah, here's all of my like biology, public speaking, psychology, all my psychology, my criminal justice books are all here. And then all of the, like, I have everything, I had everything so organized, except for the stuff that has to do with these properties. The one thing that I did get out of a property, which was super cool, is this. They left it there, thinking that I wasn't going to take it after 6 months of abandoning an apartment. And yeah, like there's stuff that I have to do. I have a bunch of like, they're like flimsy binders. I bought a bunch of regular binders to put stuff in. It's just like, this is the type of stuff that I need to do to get organized. And I just have had zero want to do it. And that's one of my other pictures that kind of gets overlooked all the time because I avoid this room like the plague. Because I know there's so much work to do. And I got to get in there and do it. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I have to get in there and do it. And then I get dumb bills, like just that shit that needs burned. That's not even a bill. You know, it's not even a bill. They're just credit card shit. Like, if it's not a bill, please leave me alone. Or something important. Like, I have stacks of shit that just need gone. And papers everywhere. Because I don't like to leave my room. Like, anybody have an idea of where a good place to sell stuff that's like brand new, or clothing that is brand new or hardly used? Like, I have this Fire HD thing that does not fit, and I paid for it. It's brand stinking new, and I can't use it. So what's the point? I paid $18 for it. Can you help me with that? Like, I don't know the first thing. Like, I usually buy my stuff off of Amazon, but I do have local Facebook rummage sale things, but what I've been finding with that is people don't want to pay what the stuff is worth. Like, a lot of the clothes that I have, I've either grew out of and wore very little, but they don't want to pay $40 or $50 or even $5 for a shirt that I paid $40 or $50 for, that I can no longer wear. And it's primo, top-notch clothing from back when I was doing financially okay. In the last 2 years, I lost close to 80 pounds. So I have tons and tons of brand name jeans and clothes. Well, if you guys can send me messages and show me how to set up an eBay account that I can get rid of things, I would really appreciate it. Because I have a whole attic full of stuff, of clothing, and my closets are overflowing with stuff that I don't no longer need. I need the bare minimum at this point. I want to clear it all out. Same with even some furniture that I have. Like, I want to get out of here. So, anyway, thank you guys. Like I said, my house is pretty doggone nice. Okay. Well, I would love to put my daughter on that because I'm not a techie at all. I wish I had a person who I wish I had a person, like even these pictures back here. And that whole set, I want to get rid of. There's a lot of stuff I need to get rid of. So, either way, thank you guys for listening to my talk. And apology. Like I said, it was more I wanted to apologize to you guys for my venting my frustrations. But it was real, and it was raw, and it was hurt, and it was pain. Man, it was pain. Coming to the conclusion that someone just does not give a shit. And they don't care. However, they would say they do. And it's a lie, because I watch actions. Spirit has told me, watch their actions. You'll see their intentions through their actions. If somebody really cares about you, watch their actions. They'll come at you with sweet words. Jesus, I'll never betray you. I love you so much. Jesus said to Peter, you will deny me 3 times. You will deny me 3 times. Before the morning. You'll deny that you knew me. And that was, Peter was his right-hand man. He actually, after the fact, Jesus is like, because Peter understood who he was. The apostle Peter understood who he was. You are the Lord. You are the Christ. You are the chosen. You were sent here. Yet he denied Christ 3 times during Christ's crucifixion. The beatings and through the crucifixion. If you have not watched The Passion of the Christ, I suggest you do. It's gory as shit, but it puts into real perspective what unconditional love looks like. If you're an empath, it could be too much for you to bear. Because you could feel it. The other night I tried watching a movie. With the ex. I tried watching this movie with the ex, and it had to do with Leonardo DiCaprio was in it. I forget the name of the movie. It had something to do with he got mauled way back when the Indians were still at war with each other, and still, the way there was a different breed of human back then. Either way, this guy, Leonardo DiCaprio, was in this movie. I forget that he won an award for it. You didn't even realize it was Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, he looked like a mountain man. But he got mauled by a bear. Big time mauled. Bad. Cuts. Bite mark. Like, he should have been dead by bleeding out. And he even had a hole in his chest where if he drank water, the water came. It was like, I can't watch this, dude. This is horrible. And then it shows a good illustration of betrayal. Got mauled like shit by a bear. And then he was found by some of the guys he was traveling down this mountain with. And there was a guy who didn't want to have to carry him. He didn't want to have to carry that burden. So you want to know what he did? He tried smothering him. So he didn't have to fucking bear the load. The guy tried to kill him. So he didn't have to bear that load. And Leonardo DiCaprio's son, I don't remember the name of the movie precisely, but I don't think it's that old, man. I'm not sure. I don't think it's that old. All I know is he won a Golden Globe for it, or Academy Award, something for Academy Award. You could hear that bear. I legit couldn't watch. Like, my face was buried in the couch with my hands over my ears and my heart beating. And I'm like, I can't take this. I feel all of this. And The ex knew it. And he does not get it. Like, he don't get how sensitive I am to visual and auditory things now. I feel them deep in my core. But I got to see some very important things in this movie. The guy, Leonardo DiCaprio's son, saw what this other guy who was supposed to be a part of their tribe was doing, and he tried to help his father, and this guy who could not move killed his son. He killed Leonardo DiCaprio's son for trying to help his father not get killed. He stabbed him right in front of Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's on his back. He can't even move. And he had to watch his son die. And then there was another fella. There was like a group of 4 of them. There was another fella who came along and didn't really. He asked where Leonardo DiCaprio's son was, and I forget exactly where he said that he just kind of, I don't know. I forget that part, whether or not he admitted to killing him. I don't know. But it shows this dude walking up with a canister of water, and Leonardo DiCaprio is laying in a shallow grave, alive still. And this guy's starting to put dirt over top of him, saying, look, we're all going to die if we have to carry this load. So we might as well cut off the dead weight. Well, guess what? Leonardo DiCaprio decided he wasn't going out like that. And he got himself somehow. I forget exactly how the movie goes, but somehow he got himself 20 miles down this damn mountain. And the guy in the end who tried to kill him ended up dead by Indians who the dude raped. I mean, it was a gory movie, but it goes to show you that people get away with things for so long, and then justice comes in. And Leonardo DiCaprio ended up living. However, he had to deal with the death of his son. Gosh, does that ever sound familiar? Either way, that's my video for the day. Thank you all for joining me. I'm going to try and do some tarot a little later, maybe this evening. I'm going to run down. I'm going to go jump in a nice salt bath like I do every day. Jump in a nice salt bath, try and get the yuck off of me. And I'm going to head down to my apartment building and try and do at least an hour or 2 of work there every day. That's my goal. So I hope you all have a blessed day, have a blessed week. I hope this blesses you in fighting a good fight. We're all going through it. We're all going through it. And if you need anything, please don't hesitate to email me. You can also Facebook friend request me on Facebook as well. Lisa Luann is my name. Sometimes I will talk. Sometimes if I'm busy, I can't. I'm sorry. I have decided to push back private readings for at least a week. I have like 5 to schedule. I have 5, and Red Rider on here, he's one of them. I have 5 readings that I have to do. But I need to make sure that my mind and my ego is out of the way so that I can completely give you guys the best reading possible. Because I don't want my ego. I want spirit to be able to talk to you through me. I don't want anything that has anything to do with my ego involved. I want that all stepped to the side. That's my prayer. Okay? So, like I said, I needed to take a step back. I will keep you all updated when I start private readings again. I'd love to do them. I'm so sorry. Dude, if you're having nightmares again, because I get them too, there is a fellow by the name of, well, you could watch Sue the Glitch. He's Soothe. He came on here for a little bit. He's like my brother. He lives in New York. He has some really good teachings and downloads. You'll get a lot of peace of mind. Also, I don't really feel that cord cutting works to a long degree, but it does help for the time being. Eventually, we have to find those cords and permanently remove them with the root. But there's like a 7-minute cord cutting, and then it's all within like 7 minutes. She cuts the cord with Michael the Archangel, and she puts up a shield. You have to do that every day. I'm being killed in the Vietnam War. What do you mean? Oh, that's the dream you're having. That could be a past life regression that you need to integrate. Either you were in Vietnam and you're having flashbacks, and that's post-traumatic stress disorder, or if you weren't, were you in Vietnam? Or it's a past life thing that you were actually, okay, you're 47. Were you in Vietnam? Because I know Vietnam stopped at the tail end of when I was born. So no, if you're 47, then you wouldn't have been old enough. Okay, then that's a past. I got chills. That's a past life. You need to ask spirit about that. That's a past life regression you're having. Okay, don't be afraid of that. It's just something that spirit's showing you from a past life. And try not to let it yeah. Try not to let it control your thoughts. Actually, what I want you to do, well, I had to take some Tylenol PM for the longest time. And because of the complex post-traumatic stress disorder of dealing with some toxic people that were in my life, I have to take medication to sleep, or I won't sleep for days. And sometimes it's spirit keeping me up. Sometimes it's not. I'm hoping to actually eventually get off all these meds and get back on a normal schedule. Spirit can do it. I know this. So, yeah. I'm going to look up some stuff. Well, if you're having trauma, when I do your reading, buddy, you're going to be the first one I do. It's just, I know you've been wanting this. I apologize so much. But I can't give you I can't give you the correct stuff if I'm not. It's like putting my mask on before I put on, like they tell you in an airplane. Make sure that you're good before you help somebody else. And that's where I'm at. I'm not interested in, like I said, I'm not interested in a relationship at this time. I'm interested in connecting with people who are like me and who have the same uh, goals and are on the same path that I am. So, and then once I get today I'm much more grounded, and I'm not even sad about the breakup. I knew it was coming. I knew it had to happen. It's all good. Gotta let it go. Well, Those are all thoughts, and that's where you're getting stuck, is down in that foundation. We'll talk about it during your reading. I don't want to know too much, but we'll talk about it, and just give me a little bit of time to get my bearings, okay? And just give me a little bit of time here, and I'll get back on my goat, or get back. The goat's coming back. Yes, what she just said. Red Rider, please look up what she just said, please. There's all kinds of things about soul retrieval. Look up meditations. I suggest you sleep with renewing your mind, and different angelic meditations to protect you while you're sleeping. Either way, I'm gonna get off of here because like I said, I got things I have to do, and I still have to go pay my water bills yet, and I got to go put money in the bank before shit bounces. But like I said, give me a few give me a week or so, and I'll be back on doing private readings. I'm gonna get the generals out first before I do privates. So I can usually get in a general collective, but actually, and anybody who's done tarot can tell you the same thing that I'm telling you. Doing a private reading with me, it takes hours. It's not like a 30-minute, here's your private reading charlatan who gives you some generic. No, we're live one-on-one, and we go through everything. And I do like 5 spreads. So, plus I have a new healing modality that Spirit gave me that I want to, that might take up the majority of the reading, to be honest with you. We're not even, unless people specifically ask for a love reading, I might have to charge a little more for that. But if it's for healing, it'll be the normal, it'll just be the 44. But if they want more spreads, how much are my readings for healing? My readings are really cheap. I'm usually I do them through Facebook Messenger Live, and they're $44. I had them down at 33 at one point, but now since I'm turning 44 and I heard Spirit say up it to 44, that's what I did. But love readings and stuff like that, yeah, if that's all you want, it's like $25. The whole shebang now, like the whole shebang. Well, I don't know. I haven't really thought about doing, like I said, this new healing modality that I got, and I did a video on it, was straight from Spirit. The whole reason I started getting in, how many of you have grown up in a religious setting and you heard tarot cards are divination and they're of the devil, and only negative spirits come through that, and if you use them, you're going to hell? I know I was told that. So when I got tarot cards, my parents didn't know what the heck to think. I heard Spirit 2 years ago tell me to get a deck of tarot cards. I was led to a tarot card because I had questions. And I was told this, and I'm like, but there's so much truth behind this. And this is exactly my situation. I knew that I always had a prophetic gift, and I channel a lot. I knew that I always had this. And it back in 2006, and even prior to that, when I started speaking in tongues, I started getting downloads, and I started hearing things for the body. And I was like, okay, either I'm losing my shit or this is actually legit, because I grew up in a Baptist setting where I was told that the gifts don't no longer. No, I have not. When I channel, it's usually impressions that I get, and then I take it straight to source and Spirit and say, what are you trying to tell me, Jesus? Like, what lesson am I supposed to learn? And I let Spirit talk to me. Okay. Thank you for telling me that, and I will definitely do that. So her name is Bridget, or how do you pronounce that? Okay. Well, I have a message from my angels. I got a new deck upstairs, which is gorgeous. It's an oracle deck. Um, and yeah, a lot of my readings, I did one for Jess. I don't think she's on here right now, and I've done other readings for other people where I just get things even prior to the reading. Um, past loved ones, names, all kinds of stuff that are karmic, that had to do with your karmic line. That's why I said it takes a lot of energy out of me. When I do for the collective, it does not take near as much energy out of me. When I do privates, I'm honed in for a whole morning and meditating on on who you are and asking in spirit. And I usually write things down too. Um, and then I set up a time. We set up a time when I see that it comes into my PayPal that it was paid. Um, I usually am friends with them on Facebook, and I could do it through. I used to always only do it through Messenger, through Facebook, because it was easier. And I like my subs as friends. I want spiritual people on my page, even my Facebook, so they hold me accountable when I'm being a dick. Because there's some means out there that are like, yeah, I feel that, but I can do it through that, or I can do it through Skype. I actually did download Skype because I had a client who did not want Facebook. She was being heavily stalked, and she couldn't have a Facebook. And she started a Skype account just for me to do a reading. And immediately, I met her. I caught things. And I mean, man, she was in some situations. And she was from Vegas. So, like, I'm getting people from all over the world. I've had one woman from New Zealand already. I've had somebody from the UK that I've done readings for. A lot of people from California that I've done readings for. So what I can't do, and people don't get this, is they want a reading and it's immediate and they want it right now. And it's like, I need to take a step back and forget all of my shit and push my ego to the side and allow spirit just to talk through me. It's been a lot easier. And like I said, I could do it for the collective a lot easier, for the collective of each sign. And I always get the titles of my readings before I do the reading, and I do them all live. If you go on, none of them are pre-recorded, except for like maybe back in July, August. Everything I do is live. And I try not to like look in the comments a whole lot unless I'm doing a channeling thing and then I'm looking. But I have people, they know I do all my stuff live. Will that take up storage on my phone? See, I actually have a camera. I have a good camera. But it's just been so easy just to get on my phone, and I've been taking the easy way to do this. I have a camera that I can do readings with that are way better, probably way better. And I don't edit nothing. As you guys see, yeah, I don't have that time. I have too much. Later, I'll start editing probably. Okay. Well, what I would rather probably do is just I'm no, I some people, I don't know. They just prefer to do the reading on their own time and then send them out an MP. I would much rather do it one-on-one and connect energy, so that I actually, like, I'm already connecting energy anyway because we're all connected, but like, I like to connect, and then the confirmations that I get back, are all like, how the hell did you know that? You know, and I like them to see that I'm legit, that I'm not just pulling a bunch of cards and saying this, that, and the other thing. I tried. I did a reading for another reader who promised me a reading back, and she never sent it to me. I don't care. I think she was just thinking to see if I was legit. Well, I'm legit because I got spirit. Spirit knows what everybody's going through, and there's no judgment because I am not perfect. Either way, yeah. If you're looking for a reading, like I said, give me a week or two to get some of this stuff out of my system. And like I said, I got to get working on my rentals. I'll keep you posted and updated. I'll come on and do stuff if I'm getting channeled stuff. Glitch, I wish you put out more content. Because I go on every day and I'm looking. I'm like, come on, like, he's got to be feeling this too. Say something. It's funny. Because I really look forward to it. I listen to you and Cry On, and that's pretty much about it. And the Vibe Tribe. Well, I'm thinking, look, I've taken down curtains. I've actually been washing curtains and trying to do some spring cleaning that I haven't done. It's like, yeah, I'm always looking for content. Because of what I'm going through, I'm thinking, all right, if I'm going through this, then the collective has got to be feeling this, unless this is just my own soul shit that's being beat out of me. But yeah. Us light workers, man. It's a rough road though. Oh, you did? I didn't see it yet, so when I go get my salt bath, I'll watch it. That's what I do. I listen to Cry On and I listen to your stuff. Thank God I found your channel. Man, that's helped me through a lot of this stuff with my grandma. When my grandma passed, I had a whole, not to mention in spirit and then getting the downloads and releasing the ex, and then it's funny how when you let go and you release these people, they come back. We're for one last cycle. Let's recycle through this one more time just to see if you got the lesson. But they don't really care. Well, I'm honored that you're a friend of mine on here. Thank you. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I got a temper. I'm an Aries. So it's like, take that step back. Because my rising sign is Libra. So like I like things balanced. And I like things fair. And then I have a moon in Capricorn. And trying to channel Capricorn and that energy doesn't want to hear your problems. Capricorn energy is just like, that's one thing I can channel exactly how the planets are. And I'm an Aries and I enjoy the fire. So I hope you're enjoying the Aries season so far. It's going to get better after the 5th. We're still in Mercury retrograde shadow. So it'll turn, unfortunately, my birthday is tomorrow. Unfortunately, it doesn't turn direct until, like complete direct until the 14th. And that's almost when Aries season's over. And then we go into boring Taurus season. Oh. Not that Taurus is boring, but Mars is in detriment there, and I can tell. Like, my ruling planet's Mars, and I could tell he's in detriment. Like, he's ready to get in the Gemini. Like, he's like, give me some air so I can feel this flame again. It's funny because I can channel the planets. It's kind of cool. So, yeah. Either way, that's part of the reason. Like, I don't know. It's just so weird. My life and my ways of thinking are so weird. And it's hard to talk to people who don't understand me because they're like, you've lost it. Yeah, I kind of did. I kind of did. I can't help it. It's who I'm called to be. It's who I'm meant to be. I don't want no 3D relationships. If I don't want 3D bullshit. I want somebody on my level or above. There's another fire sign. Ooh, we got Aries, Leo, and Sag in the house. Fan that flame. Whee! We got the fire starter. We have the Leo who's able to maintain the fire and fix it. And then we got Sag, who's a wildfire ready to spread it all over the place. So, either way, I'm going to let y'all go. I'm going to go hop in my bath. Lich, I'm going to check out your video. Like I said, if anybody wants a reading, give me a week or two till I can get my mind and get some things done that I've really have been putting off. Look, I have this super cool, and I got this hydroponic system. And I have seeds here. And I have planting soil with lavender and sage. I have yet to plant. And I should be. This is the stuff that I should be doing. Getting myself in dirt, getting myself in soil, grounding myself, planting life. And I have houseplants too. Look, the vine. There's vines all over the place. Trying to make babies out of the vine too. I would love to grow weed if it was legal. Unfortunately, it's not 1776 anymore at this point, even though we're kind of heading back on that, skipping back to that timeline where it was illegal not to grow weed. Absolutely illegal. Well, there's places here in the United States where they're opening dispensaries. However, thank you. I love you. I'm working on it one day at a time. There is places where it is but it's government. The government already got their hands on it. The government already got their fingers and they're already getting their cut of the pie. You want to know what I found out from a couple people who have gotten caught with only just a small little nug, hardly anything? They're getting DUIs. If they come up, if you have weed on you now, they will take you to the hospital and have you tested. And if you show up with weed in your system, you're getting a DUI and you're losing your license. I've seen 3 kids that are just turned 18 going through this. More money for the criminal justice system that's already fucking broken because of people being in jail for drugs, not people being in jail for destroying other people. There was a guy in town who admitted to raping a 6-year-old girl, and in my town, he admitted to raping her. Had it on video, put it on YouPorn. He was, yeah. Oh, sorry. He was, turned in to the authorities and admitted to the authorities and showed the authorities the videos. He's out on bail. He just destroyed a 6-year-old child's life, and that he's out on bail, but yet somebody has a nug in their car and they're paying $3,000 and losing their license. So now they could lose their job. Yes, that's what's happening in the United States of America. They're trying to make pedophilia. They're trying to bring pedophilia here and make it normalized. They're destroying, and I'm sorry that I'm getting upset. They're destroying, when it comes to injustice, this is me. When it comes to injustice, they're trying to make pedophilia normalized. They're trying to make the age of consent to have sex at, I think, 9 or 10 years old. What 9 or 10-year-old is ready for that? I know what happened to myself. Yes. I know what happened to myself when I was molested at 2 years old. I was not penetrated, but I was molested. And it messed me up. Every 7, 8 years, something would happen where I would either be touched inappropriately. One time I was attacked and almost raped. And then when I turned in my 20s, I was raped twice by exes. Never turned them in because of shame and guilt and all that other stuff. But yeah, that's what people don't understand, how sex destroys people. There's an energy exchange. And guess what happens when you do that to a child? It messes with them their whole life. That's one of the reasons why yes, we do. It happened to me at the age of 2. It happened to me again at the age of 7. Happened to me again at the age of 15, 16. I was in 10th grade. I was walking home. Some dude. I was walking home from school. I was just done with band practice because I was in the color guard. And I was walking down behind the school, and this guy comes up behind me who I could smell alcohol in his breath, which is probably one reason why I have flashbacks when someone tries to kiss me who smells like that specific kind of alcohol. That was, you ever get so scared? Like it almost feels like you're coming out of a dream. And here I'm kind of going on a little bit of a rant, but you come out of a dream and you can't scream. Like nothing will come out. That's what happened to me. I didn't know who this guy was. He grabbed me and threw me on the ground beside my high school. Nobody saw him. It was getting dark. And he told me that if I yelled or screamed, he would kill me. Well, guess what I did? I gouged his eyes and I bit him. And then he called me a fucking bitch, but he left me up. I'm positive that was a demon at this point. Because of what he said to me. I saw the dude, and I still have my rifle. It's funny, I showed it. Like, I was in a rifle line. I don't know if you know what that is. In a band, color guard, I twirled rifle, and I was on the dance line, and I was on the flag line. And I was in 10th grade walking home. And I was practicing twirling my rifle, which I could still fucking do, by the way. I was practicing doing my reps with my rifle. This guy walks past me and he's like, "Oh, are you a pet?" Because we were called the Shikellamy Marching Braves. And I'm like, "Yep." And I kept on not watching my environment around me. He comes up behind me, grabs my rifle, throws it down on the ground, puts his hand over my mouth so I could not scream, takes me over by the school and throws me on the ground, puts his hand over my mouth and says, "If I scream, you'll kill me." And then he tried to force himself on me. As I'm trying to scream for people, nothing came out. That's how I know that was demonic. Because I know I've been attacked in my dreams. It just dawned on me. I know I've been attacked in my dreams by demonic entities. And it's almost like sleep paralysis, where you try and scream and nothing comes out because you're that traumatized. So, I'm telling you. And it happens in increments. Some people might not like gun control. Some people may not like the firearms. Well, guess what? I'm a single woman living in a house by myself in a town full of pedophiles and disgusting people who moved here from other places that don't have the same standards and morals that I do and don't care if they hurt people. I have 2 guns. I understand some people are like, oh, well, if you have guns, that's going to bring violence to you. No, that's for my protection, sweetheart. Someone comes in my house, they better hope I'm not home when they do. Because if someone comes in my house unannounced and they come at me, they're getting a bullet. Not in the heart, not in the head. They're getting a bullet right between the legs. I will destroy their manhood. I'm a good shot. I've said it before. And when I tell people this, especially guys, they're like, oh my God. Like, they wouldn't think that, they would think, oh yeah, you're going to aim for the heart. No, I'm aiming for your penis. I don't, because there's only one reason why you're coming in my room, and it's to harm me. More than likely rape me at this point. Hi, Jackie. So guess what? You're not going to have a penis to do it with. And if you bleed to death, sorry, I didn't mean to make you bleed to death. Yeah. You wanted to try and destroy my life, your life will be destroyed. Agreed. And that's my resolve. You want to know what? I honestly think that's what we should do with most pedophiles. I don't think we should kill them. I think we should just castrate them. Castrate them so they can't offend and hurt people. Don't kill them. I just make them a eunuch. Because I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to kill anybody. Like that would be my last resort. Castrate their asses. Anybody who could hurt a child. Because that affects the child for the rest of their life. And they don't care. Well, I do. Here's an issue that I have, and we're going to get on this tangent right now. I know this video is pretty long, and there are probably some people who, you know, are Muslim on here. And this isn't to offend that faith at all. I don't have... They need God and they need love just like the rest of us. However, marrying a 6-year-old child is disgusting, and you have a mental disorder. And being okay with your 6-year-old child being married off to an 80-year-old man is disgusting, and you have a really fucked up mental disorder. Live the life of love. You tell me if Islam is a religion of love. Or is it a religion of control and hate? That's what we need to ask ourselves. Same with Judaism. Like, I get it. Back in the 1800s, it was normal for people to get married at 14 and 15 years old. I understand that. That was tradition. But polygamy is not okay, in my opinion. It's not. Each man should have his own wife. There's plenty of people. We don't need to marry 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9 freaking people. That's just there for someone else's personal pleasure, and that's all it is. You know, I see some of these videos and stuff on YouTube of these children's parents of a 6-year-old child who is Muslim. And they're walking their child to the marriage bed with an 80-year-old man. That's disgusting. I have an issue with that, and so does God. We are here to protect our children and show them the right way. You didn't have a 6-year-old child to give it to some fucking pedophile and ruin its life. So, if you're a Muslim one here, I'm not here to offend you. I'm just here to ask you to reevaluate that whole motive. That child has zero inkling to even have the concept of what real love, godly love looks like. And if they're getting raped, because that's what it is, it's rape. Whether their parents consent to you raping their child or not, it's rape. And you're messing that human being, that soul, that fractal of God, you're allowing it, and you'll be held accountable. There is no 72 virgins. Sorry. It's going to be you standing before God. How did you love? Well, I'm going to challenge you, Red Rider. Do me a favor. You want to know what real love looks like? Watch The Passion of the Christ. That's what real love looks like. You read the Gospels. That's what real love looks like. And it has nothing to do with religion. It has to do with a man who came here to destroy it and destroy religion and religious institutions and show you the love of God in human form so that you can learn how to display that. So, you want to know what real love looks like? I'm giving you an insight. That's what it looks like. For a man, women are supposed to honor their husband. Men are called to a higher standard to love their wife like Christ loved the church and gave himself up for it. Men are held at a higher standard than what the women are. And if you don't believe me, I know the Bible. God doesn't refer to, Jesus does not refer to his light workers, the church, the light body. He does not refer to us as the groom. He's the bridegroom who loved himself and gave himself up for us. He refers to us as the bride who deserves unconditional love because he died and gave himself up for us. And we're in the mission right now of making ourselves ready for the bridegrooms to return. The supper's there. We just haven't. It's killing this ego thing that has been hard. But yeah, men are charged at a whole different level. Women are supposed to love, and we're supposed never says anything about loving your husband. It says about honoring him. Men are called to love their wife like Christ loved the church and died and gave himself up for her. Died to himself, died to his own selfish needs, wants, and nature. And as that's happening, it's not going to look pretty. And I'm getting, this is a whole new download I'm getting right here. And this is 2 hours long. Women are called to respect that process in their significant other and respect them. So, either way, I want you to check out the Gospels. Look at them with fresh eyes of not religious. Look at them with fresh eyes as from one chapter to the next. Just look what Jesus did. How he responded to people. How he responded to the religious people who were known as the Pharisees and Sadducees of that day. In the government institute. Look how he did his miracles and why. Look at his parables of what he said. Like, especially the one about being their two brothers. One was faithful. The other one went out and partied and did bullshit. And the father was so happy to see the prodigal. It's called the prodigal son. The prodigal son return home. How many of us have been a prodigal son? Or a prodigal daughter? So, I'm not saying people are damned to hell for doing shitty things. Because there is repentance. But repentance, true repentance and being sorry for something isn't repeating the same cycle. And repeating the same behavior. And just saying, oh, I'm sorry. I won't do it anymore, and then do it. Please do. Don't get on any religious channels. Please. Just read it for yourself. And if you have any questions, ask me. Because I'm not religious. I know the Bible very well. And I love Jesus and I love who he is. And I love how he reacted and he responded to disorder and chaos. It's brilliant because he was God incarnate. Brilliant. And beautiful. He's beautiful. And the part of the reason I get so upset and why I can't go to church is because there's hypocrites there. They don't look at who Jesus is. They take it for granted that they have fire insurance and they're going to go to heaven, yet live like hell throughout the week and treat people like shit. That's my problem with the church. Because it's what's buried deep in your heart that's getting tenderized with that, meat tenderizer. With all the impurities coming to the surface. Like I said, I did delete those 2 videos because I pretty much outed my ex. Oh, I hate when I have to do that. Because I look so bad. Like, it's bad. Just go off. But I'm telling you, everything that I've told you was true. And that's how I was treated. They're not there for... Here's the thing. There's a difference between being a Christian and having a relationship with Jesus Christ and Spirit. There's a difference. And really, truly wanting to know who you are in Christ. Because you want to know what happens when you really want to truly know who you are in Christ? Dark nights of the soul begin to happen. And all those hurts and childhood pains and all that shit you've gone through, rape, molestation, and not feeling good enough, and being cheated on, lied to, betrayed over and over and over your whole life, God wants to heal and make you whole. So that, guess what? It's not even, hang on. It's not even meant for you. It's meant for your soul's growth. Okay, my kid is back. I'm going to let y'all go. You guys take care. I love you. I'm going to head down to my apartment building then. Take it easy. Bye.